Where you at with it? Always overthinking every aspect. Settle down and let it go. Settle down and let it go. Oh, oh. Tell me something. Have you wanted to be someone else? Then tell me what you waiting for. Let me introduce myself. I'm not the same person you knew. Life in a brand new light. There's nothing that I can't do.
Good morning, and welcome to APU. This is your future. This is your future. I'm Laurie Schreiner, and I am a professor here. And one of the things I do besides teach is I do some research. And what I research is what it takes for students to succeed in college. So we've been studying this for years and years, and I've spent a long time doing that. So I thought it might be helpful this morning if I shared some of those secrets with you. So this picture of your success, graduation day, may seem like a long way off right now because you're standing at the very beginning of the road. You're feeling maybe a little bit like you did when you went to kindergarten. And you thought that was over, but no, it feels like that again. And you may feel like the road ahead of you is really confusing, full of twists and turns. College can be hard to navigate sometimes because you've got so many choices open to you. And that's true in a normal world, which we are not in, right? What with a pandemic and lots of concerns about the world around us, about our nation, the racial injustices that exist around us, the financial insecurity and uncertainty, the political divisiveness. So whether you got here by the freeway or the Gold Line, whether you're living on campus and wondering why all these people are yelling as you turn the corner, or whether you're living at home, your family is so proud of you and has high hopes for you, which that can be a lot of pressure sometimes too. But no matter how you got here, you're now at the beginning of what we hope is a really amazing journey for you. You may not know where you're going yet, but you are definitely on your way. So welcome to an amazing road trip with us. So today we're going to talk about this journey that lies ahead and how you are in the driver's seat for this journey, but you are surrounded by people to help you navigate the road ahead, accompany you on the journey, and sing along to the radio. Masked if you want to be, okay? You may feel like you got this. No problem. It's under control. Or you may feel a little intimidated or unsure of what is this going to be like. So I want us to get a little bit of that out of our system this morning. And I want you to find someone who's not in your family. Okay, find someone who's not in your family, and I want you to talk to them about what is your biggest fear or concern, what are you feeling a little bit anxious about as you start this journey. Family members, you talk to other families that maybe you haven't met yet and say, what are my concerns and some of my fears about my family member as they begin as a student at APU. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes to talk about what are your fears, anxieties, concerns as you start the journey. Go. All right. Now I know I didn't hear every conversation, some of which are still going on. That's always the challenge. But hopefully you got to meet someone new. If your conversation was like others that our students have often had when they first started here, you may be feeling anxious, maybe about whether you're going to make friends, or worried about how hard your classes might be, maybe a little nervous about things you want to try for the first time, like auditioning for a play or a music group, or trying out for the team. Isn't that cute? Can you tell I love dogs, right? Or you may be feeling afraid that you're not going to get along with your roommate, right? Or maybe you're concerned that you're not able to afford to do everything that your new friends want to do. And we get that. We're here to help you figure out how to get where you want to go. Now, the destination is up to you. Whether that's becoming the person you've always wanted to be, using your superpowers for the good of other people, getting your degree so that you can have the life you've always dreamed of and give back to your community. The road that you're on now will have plenty of curves in it, forks in the road where decisions have to be made, obstacles to overcome, and some pitfalls that may throw you for a loop. And sometimes you may be running on empty. And that's a normal part of college life too. But when your fuel gets low, we are here to help you fill the tank. And sometimes that's with friends who get you, classmates who study with you, opportunities for your family to be involved in your journey. We are going to remind you of your goals and help you figure out how to reach them. And we're always going to connect you to a world that is bigger than yourself. We want you to become a difference maker. We want you to not just survive the road trip called college, we want you to thrive. And I think that's what Jesus' mission was. When he was here on earth, he came that we might have life and have it abundantly, filled to overflowing, more than we need to survive. So let's start by thinking back to a time in your life when you were thriving. Maybe that was pre-COVID, maybe that was yesterday, but I want you to think about a time in your life when you were thriving, what that felt like. And I'm going to give you 60 seconds to turn to somebody next to you and share what it felt like when you were thriving. Okay? Go. All right, that feeling that you just described to your neighbor, that feeling you just described to your neighbor, that's our goal for you. And I'm noticing the clicker isn't moving, so I'm going to ask the person who usually helps me with those things to come on up here and figure it out with me. So that feeling that you just described to your neighbor, that's our goal for you here at APU, for you to thrive. So what is that like? Well, it's a feeling, like you just described, which is often a feeling of joy and energy, energized by what you're doing. You're often doing something that is meaningful to you, that makes a difference. Oftentimes it means you're involved and connected with other people and just enjoying the moment, what we call being mindful, when you're really fully present, so that when negative things happen, you can kind of take it in stride. All right, there we go. So our definition of thriving is making the most of your college experience. And here at APU, we've actually been researching this in about 150,000 college students across the country, as well as in our own students. So today I want to tell you a little bit about what it means to thrive, and then also what it takes to thrive, and how we help you do that here at APU. So the petals on the flower that you see up here represent what it means to thrive, and I'm going to explain those in a moment. The leaves represent what feeds your thriving, okay? Your spirituality, as well as whether your major is a good fit for you. And the stem that then anchors it is your sense of community on campus, that feeling of belonging and that this is your home. And then the soil underneath that enriches and supports your thriving is your involvement on campus, but also your interaction with faculty, your relationships with faculty. So let's talk a little bit more about each one of these things. Now, what it means to thrive is that you're engaged in the learning process. So that means that you are connecting in your classes with things you already know, things you want to learn about, things that represent your interests and your goals in life, but you're also connecting to your classmates and to your instructors. That's what it means to be engaged in the learning process, and we want that to happen for you here. Secondly, we use the term academic determination, and what this really means is you have goals. That means something to you, that you're really motivated to work toward, and you're putting in the effort that it takes to reach those goals. And you also, students who are thriving, know the strengths they have and how that helps them when they face challenges. And that's part of what you will learn by being with us here at APU. We will help you identify talents that you have and how to apply those to challenges. Now, thriving students are also very open to difference, and they want to make a difference in the world around them. So when they meet people who come from different backgrounds or who have different political opinions or faith traditions, they are open. Thriving students are open to hearing what different other people have to say because they realize what a great learning opportunity that is. So you're going to have lots of opportunity here to encounter people who are different from you. APU students come from so many different cultures and backgrounds, and they have lots of different opinions, which means we mirror the kingdom of God in all of the diversity. So thriving students also want to make a difference in the world around them, and that's what we hope to prepare you to do. At APU, we use the phrase cultivating difference makers to describe our mission, our hope for you, that we prepare you to make a difference in the world. Now, thriving students also have strong social connections with other people, so that means they're not likely to feel lonely too often. They have friends who care about them and support them. Now, the research shows it only takes one good friend to thrive. A lot of times when you first start in college, everyone thinks, by what all the media tells you, that you're going to have a dozen best friends by the end of next week, right? And that's simply not the case. Doesn't happen. If you have a good friend or two by Thanksgiving, that's actually going to be the realistic future for you that is going to help you thrive. Now, finally, thriving students have a positive perspective on life. So that means they think things will eventually work out if they put in enough effort and use the right strategies. So there's a saying from a movie a couple of years ago that says, "All shall be well in the end." And if all is not well right now, that's because it's not yet the end. And that's the mindset that thriving students have. The story isn't over yet. They also are able to reframe when negative things happen. So when the most successful people in any profession are asked, "Tell me the story of your success," do you know that most of the time those people start their story about a failure they encountered? Now, why would they do this? I mean, for instance, Steven Spielberg, the guy whose movies have grossed over $9 billion, he's won 3 Academy Awards. He was rejected not once, but twice from the University of Southern California's School of Cinematic Arts. Thomas Edison, who invented the electric lamp, was told by his teachers he was too stupid to learn anything. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first TV job. Michael Jordan was cut from his first high school basketball team. These are experiences that highly successful people have had, and they recognize that failure isn't the end. It's a temporary setback that helps them figure out, what do I need to do differently next time? So that's the key. If you don't get the grade that you hoped you would get on that first quiz, or you didn't get the part in the play that you wanted, or maybe you're not starting on the team, being able to reframe those negative events is what's going to help you thrive. What do I need to do differently next time? What can I learn from this? Rather than concluding, nothing is ever going to work out for me again. So now that we've talked a little bit about what it means to thrive, let's take a look at what it takes to thrive. So part of thriving depends on you, what you choose to do, but part of it also depends on the environment that you've chosen to be a part of, the environment where you've planted yourself. Now here's your part. Never give up. It is that simple. Never give up. I teach in our doctoral program, our PhD and EDD programs in higher education, and we went to South Africa for a number of years learning about the higher education systems there. And there is a South African song that began as a protest song during the apartheid era, when white South African government officials racially segregated and oppressed the black and multiracial South Africans. Now this song is called Bambalela. Now that's a Zulu word that means never give up. So when our students visited a church in Cape Town, South Africa, every year that we go, they still sing this song. Apartheid ended, yet they still are facing poverty and corruption and AIDS. And so they link arms and sing at the top of their lungs, Bambalea, never give up, never, ever, 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 ever give up. And it's actually the best advice we can give you. Because this is a secret that I've learned after 40 years of being a college professor. And I just want to say I started in kindergarten, so in case you're kind of wondering about that. But success is not about how smart you are. I want to say that again. Success is not about how smart you are. It's about whether you show up and keep going. It is about persistence, never giving up. We admitted you to APU, so we know you are smart enough to succeed here. There is no question in our minds. But what we see makes the difference between students who graduate and those who don't is whether they put in the effort, whether they show up, whether they never give up even when the going gets tough. So our part of the deal is that we are the soil that can help you thrive. Just as beautiful plants won't live long in soil that is not carefully watered and tended, we know that our student success is in our hands. So I want to tell you a little bit about the kind of soil that we cultivate here for our students. There are 5 of these pathways to thriving that we know about from our research. And what I want to tell you about this morning is how APU is going to help you find each of these pathways. Now, we cannot do it for you, but what we can do is guide you toward the pathway. We can give you the map and join you for the journey. So the first pathway to thriving is finding a major that's a good fit for you. And that's why we have academic advisors and success coaches. Our faculty will also help you do this. There are lots of opportunities for you to have conversations with multiple people across campus, beginning with your success coach, about finding a major that's a good fit for you. You may not know your major now, and that is very, very common in first-year students. So if you're coming in thinking, I'm not sure what I'm going to major in, we know that that's very, very common. So don't worry about that. We're going to help you in that process. We're going to help you find a major that's a good fit for you and that works for you, that fits your interests and your strengths. So our goal is really to help you become the best version of yourself, because there is not one right path to success. Your pathway will not look like your roommates or your friends or your families, an older brother or sister, right? You will not have the same kinds of pathways. We're going to help you identify your strengths and how those might fit into a future career. Now, you probably already know some of the strengths you have. And by strengths, we mean things that you're good at, but also things that energize you or come naturally to you and help you be successful. These could be things that your friends have said they really like about you. things your teachers have complimented you for, but you also have strengths that come from your culture, your community, and your family. Things your mama or abuela taught you, skills you've honed as you've navigated LA, the ability to speak and think in more than one language. What a gift that is. So what I want us to do now is to stop for a minute and to share what you think is a strength or an asset that you have, whether that's something that comes from inside you, you've always been good at, or whether it's something that you feel like your community and your culture and your family have given you as an asset. So again, 60 seconds, quick conversation. What do you feel like is an asset or a strength you already have that's going to help you succeed here? Go. Now, sometimes we don't see those strengths in ourselves. So if perhaps you were at a little bit of a loss here, your family can tell you some stories, right? Your family has probably seen strengths in you that they can tell you about. And I would encourage you to start having those conversations, to say, where have you seen me really be able to shine? Where do you see that I come alive? What are the strengths that you've seen in me since I was a little kid? So the second pathway is campus involvement. And you are going to see lots of opportunities for that this weekend, beginning this weekend, whether that is playing ball or watching ball games, whether it's getting involved in clubs and organizations or student government. You're going to hear a lot about those opportunities this weekend. But the key is to choose wisely. Connect your involvement to what you're interested in as a major or a hobby, things that energize you, or doing things that actually strengthen you. Committing to one or two things and taking a deep dive in that kind of involvement, we've found in our research, is a better approach than getting involved at the surface level in lots of different things. Now, you've got to get involved in lots of different things at the beginning to figure out which ones are going to be good for you, a good fit for you. But then doing a deep dive there and really committing to that organization or that activity is going to be the key. Now, the third pathway is your relationship with faculty, and you're going to hear from another esteemed faculty member here in a bit, but it's not like high school. So I do want to say that here, the relationship that our professors, instructors, that's what we call faculty, what they have with students is different than probably what you've experienced. And if you're a transfer student, you may also find that it's a different experience than you've had in other kinds of environments. We are wanting to get to know you. We want to interact with you. And your part of this is to go to office hours and communicate with faculty. So we've found in our research here at APU that going to office hours, and I'll explain what that is in a minute, but going to office hours is actually one of the best predictors of whether you graduate from APU or not. Who knew, right? So what does it mean really to go to office hours? So your instructors typically set aside time each week, often it's 4 or 5 hours a week, in which they are available, either in their office, perhaps by Zoom, lots of different ways that you can connect, where they're just available to chat with you. You don't need an appointment. You don't just go when you need help. You go to hang out, to talk more about a topic that kind of intrigued you in class, or maybe that you had some questions about. You go to find out what your professor's thinking about things that matter to you. You go to get to know them more. And that can be a huge asset to helping you thrive. There's also an opportunity for mentoring, and that means having a deeper relationship, either with a professor, sometimes it's with peer leaders, because we have peer leaders in some of our classes as well, but it's with someone who can be a role model for you or guide you in the decisions you're making, or who can talk to you about how they succeeded, either in college or in their own career. Mentors also pray with you. talk about how you're feeling about being at APU. So there are those opportunities that we hope you'll take advantage of as well. And some of those are formal opportunities through discipleship groups, but a lot of times it's informal, going for coffee, hanging out after class. It is absolutely okay to reach out to any of your instructors just to chat. We want you to do that, and we love going for coffee with you. Now, the fourth pathway to thriving is spirituality. Now, that doesn't just mean your faith or your religious beliefs. It can also mean how you see the world and whatever gives you a sense of meaning and purpose in life. Something beyond yourself that you're committed to that gives you a sense of strength when life gets difficult. That's what can support your thriving as well. Now, this may be about your own spiritual life, and certainly you will find lots of reasons to pray here at APU, but we also want to support your faith journey through chapel, through discipleship groups, and in classes that help you connect your faith to a sense of hope about what God is doing in your life and in the world around you, how God can use you. And it's completely okay if you aren't yet sure what you believe, because that's part of the journey here too, figuring that out. We will give you plenty of space to do that. And there are lots of different faith traditions among the students here, as well as students who aren't yet sure of what they believe. But all of our faculty and staff are committed Christ followers. And that shapes our work here. It shapes how we relate to you, how we teach, how we interact with you. And we understand that our journey may not be the same as yours. So we want you to feel comfortable with that. Now, the final pathway to thriving is a sense of community, which is feeling that you belong here, as that opening video showed. So here's the thing about a sense of community and belonging. Anytime you're in a new environment, all of us do this. We constantly look around us, and we look for social cues that signal, do I belong here? So we say, am I the only one? Will they like me? Will I make any friends? Am I valued here? Why are they looking at me like that? Should I even be here? Now, when someone's feeling left out, you can tell by how they act. So they may show up late, sit in the back of the room, be the first one to leave, not seem to be paying attention, not talking to anyone or participating. If you're feeling that way, you may feel like you're the only one. But everybody feels that way as they try to figure out a new place. So look around you. Look at who else might be feeling left out. And why not reach out to them? When I was in high school, my family moved to a new state. I was in a new high school, and I was feeling like I really didn't belong. I was also painfully shy and pretty miserable. And my mom said, Laurie, what if you started looking for other people who are feeling left out? And what if you made their day by reaching out to them? And I always remember that when I'm in a new place of thinking, instead of thinking about how miserable I feel or uncomfortable or awkward, I look around. Who else might be feeling that way? And I go talk to them. Now, struggling of any kind gets interpreted as evidence that we don't belong. And I don't want you to fall for that. Don't fall for it. Struggle is normal. College is hard. It's supposed to be hard. Right? It's supposed to be challenging for you. So struggle is going to be a normal part of the college experience. Everyone struggles with something at some point in time. But when we struggle, we tend to think we're the only ones, and that somehow those struggles are a sign, maybe even a sign from God, that we don't belong here or we shouldn't be here. And that is absolutely wrong. Everybody struggles. And it doesn't mean you don't belong, it simply means you're a normal human being, right? So we have tons of resources here for every kind of struggle you might imagine. Nothing surprises us. Seriously, nothing surprises us. And we are here to help you with every kind of struggle that you experience. So let me say as clearly as I can that you belong here. We saw something in you, and we're confident that you can succeed here. Otherwise, we wouldn't have admitted you. We are committed not only to your success, but to your thriving. You may feel a little squirrely, but inside you, you have the capacity to live your best life here. Academically, spiritually, psychologically, in your relationships, thriving students don't just succeed in college, they go on to live really good lives. They are lifelong learners who are meeting their goals. They stay connected to other people. They're ready to make a difference in the world. Inside each of you is great potential that we cannot wait to see emerge. God bless you as you start this journey with us. I now want to introduce to you people who have been very successful in the journey and who are great role models for you and are leading our student body, and that is our Student Government Association Executive Board.
Wow, they just kind of like left us up here, I guess, you know? Well, good morning to all of you. I'm sure that you're sick of seeing all these student panels and our faces and everything, but yes, we are here to talk again. My name is Clifford Young. I'm serving as the Student Government Association president for this academic year. I feel it. I feel the love. I really do. A little bit about me. I'm a kinesiology health professions major. I'm also an honors humanities major. I have a psychology minor. And yeah, I know, right? How am I even doing all of this? Well, you can do it too. No, I'm kidding. All right. I'd like my executive board members to introduce themselves as well.
Hello, my name is Jade Lobo, and this year I'm... Thank you, Alpha. And I'm serving as the vice president this year, alongside Clifford. And I am a senior this year, and I am a psychology major with a business minor.
I'm so sorry. Hello, my name is Caitlin Tew. I am the Speaker of the House, and I am a senior with a double major in kinesiology and honors humanities with a minor in psychology.
All right. So they said to come up here and tell you a little bit about how you can get involved in everything. So I'll be asking a couple of questions to my other executive board members, and then they'll ask me a question, and we'll kind of round about that type of a way. So Jade, I know we said that we were going to name names, but I want you to answer this question. Why is it so important to get involved on campus at APU?
Yeah, I think that this is a question that probably each of us could go on and on about. But I think a big one, and this is also a word that you guys have probably heard so much, but it's community. I think that within being involved in campus, all of the activities that we can be involved in, it's allowed me to make some of my closest friends, whether they be upperclassmen, underclassmen, whether they look like me, whether they don't look like me. Diversity is such a big thing on this campus, which is so awesome. Another thing I think is getting to showcase your passions, being able to be involved in things that you love, and then being with people that share the same loves as you, and like being able to be like, wow, we're similar in different ways. Yeah, I think those are some of the big ways. I also think in servant leadership, we have so many different opportunities for servant leadership, and getting to strengthen those skills of student leadership has been really big. Just leadership skills in general for when we're out into the world is big. So yeah, I would say that those are...
Absolutely, I would agree. I think something that we got to do as SGA executive boards is come up with points for our vision statement this year. A couple of those points are to foster meaningful relationships. So some of you in the crowd, I've gotten to know your names. Some of the parents, I've gotten to know some of your names as well. The second point is embodying servant leadership. As leaders of this campus and as leaders of the student community, our job is to give back to you, to represent your concerns to the admin, faculty, and staff, your ideas, projects that you might want to be a part of. So as Jay was saying, getting involved is more important than ever, especially as freshman students. Kind of going off of that same idea, Caitlin, what are ways that freshman students and first-year transfers can get involved on campus?
Yeah, there are several different ways that students can get involved on campus. The biggest one that I learned as a freshman was to just open your door in your dorm and just make friends with the people that you're neighboring. The people in your hall are going to be your friends that you'll see in senior year. Like, I found Clifford, and I found like my best friend Erica, and those are people that I hold dear to my heart right now. And there are other ways to get involved as well. There is the Cougar Dome, so you can go sit around and find some friends. There's the Cougar Walk, where you can go see, hey, just sit around, do some homework, and then drink some coffee. But also on Cougar Walk, you can find events that are hosted by clubs and organizations, and you can say, hey, maybe I can find an event for Pacific Islander, or for anything like that, Black Students Alliance, and things like that. And other ways that you can get involved would be like discipleship groups, where students, it's a student-led group that you can have some time with God. And intramurals are also something that you can do where it's non-competitive, or if you want to make it competitive, you can, but it's just not athletic groups. But you can go support athletic groups at like Biola and things like that.
Amazing, amazing. Also, shameless plug, the Student Government Association is hiring right now. Our Speaker of the House actually is looking for 5 representatives amongst the freshmen and first-year transfers to fill those positions. So if you want to get paid to sit up here and talk a lot and be the external face and everything, and also represent, of course, the freshman ideas, concerns, projects that I mentioned earlier, you have the chance to do that. So go ahead and give us an email, find us on Cougar Walk, and let us know.
Yeah, another way I would say to get involved, I personally am involved in the choir, and like I mentioned, I'm not a music major, but I'm still involved in the choir, Bel Canto Women's Choir. We love the sisterhood, yeah, woo! So yeah, and there are a bunch of other different choir groups, and in the music department, and you don't have to be a music major. I definitely am not one, but it's a great way to get involved.
So do you have a question for me, or am I just going to sit up here and, field all the questions or anything?
Yeah, what is something that you would tell your freshman or first-year transfer self, Clifford?
Cut off all that hair that I had freshman year. I'm so glad that I have short hair. No, I'm kidding. Something that I would tell my freshman year self is don't be afraid of new opportunities to get involved. I know that's kind of just recycling everything we said, but there are a lot of new things that are on this campus that you won't have experienced in high school, maybe not even in the place you're coming from. I know some of you are out of state, a lot of you are out of country. I got the chance to go to the Global Student Orientation, meet with the International Center, and see all the new faces coming from outside of the United States, and it's amazing to see how many experiences they're bringing with them. So we have those same experiences here at APU. So I know that when I was a freshman, I was like, man, people are going to this arts experience, but I'm scared. I've never done anything like that before. And I would hear all these testimonies and stories about, oh, it was so much fun. I met so many friends. I networked. People are offering jobs at these places. You never know who you might run into, what you might run into. So open your horizons and allow for yourself to really get involved in the places you see yourself fitting into.
Yeah, something that I want to add on to that is I think being vulnerable is such a scary thing, but it's so important. Being able to say, college is hard, and I know that each one of us can agree, and I'm sure all of our alpha can agree that college is hard, and it's so important to just lean into the community here and the teams that you have when you're a part of them, and be able to lean into those groups and just understand that we're all going through it together and we're here for you.
Yeah, going off of what Jade and Cliff said, I think you should just try to take a leap and try new things. APU allows for a lot of different things that you can join, and if you do take that leap, you might be able to find something that you're passionate about, whether it be student government and advocating for the student body, or intramurals and just wanting to have some fun with some friends. I say if you find something that you're passionate about, strive for excellence in it, and you'll have a lot of fun on APU's campus.
Absolutely would agree. The last thing I would say is trust these resources that we keep bringing up to you. These will be your friends, the mentorship groups, the discipleship groups, all the offices, the Academic Success Center, the Writing Center, the Testing Center. They are here to serve you. And of course, the greatest resource is your God, so put your faith and your trust in him. He will never fail you. And I know many of you are like, oh my gosh, school starts Monday. I feel like I've just been going to events, trying to get to know people and wearing all these white I Love APU shirts. You can take them off once Monday starts. I know I'm taking off this when I get off the stage and everything, but trust in God, he will lead you in the right direction. And do we just like walk off stage? Oh yeah, I gotta introduce the amazing, the illustrious, the famous, the well-to-do, the glorious Academic Success Center team. Give them a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, that was a generous welcome. Thank you, Clifford. Come on up. Our team is coming. Can we give them a round of applause as they're making their way up? Your academic success coaches. You've seen them all summer. Here we go. Well, first off, I'm Stephanie, Director of Academic Success here at APU, and I just want to say we are so excited that you're here. Truly welcome, and congratulations to each and every student who's here. You got to this point. Family, friends, you are a part of the journey. You helped get your students to this point. Can you guys give yourselves a round of applause? You did it. You are here. We are so excited for that. You just heard some incredible testimony from some incredible students who also shared about some of the resources I'm going to talk about, so you know it's true when I tell you use them. They just mentioned them. But really, truly, we want you to be successful here at APU, and we don't want you to do that journey alone. You heard Dr. Laurie Schreiner talking about this season. Thriving is not about having all the answers coming in. This is going to be a season of growth, and we're here to help you do that. So we have a ton of resources. You're going to see them up here on the slides. We are here to make sure that we're partnering with you to reach your academic goals. So we have a career center. Who wants to get a job after you graduate? Yeah, yes, right. Some of you may need to be working through college, which I highly suggest. On-campus employment is an incredible resource. So we have a career center that will actually help you with building a resume. They're going to help you with mock interviews. They're going to help you look for jobs, internships. They're going to be preparing you now for that career you want later. We also have an exploring program. So you heard Laurie say many students are coming and they don't have a declared major yet. Also, many of you have a declared major that you might change. I know, it happens. It's a normal part of the process. If you are a family, friend, if you're here with your student, just tell them it's okay right now. Just receive that. It may happen, major changes happen, but we have an entire team here that's gonna help you in truly finding a fit that's right for you based on your strengths and your future goals. We have a first-year seminar program here at APU, and that's a class for our freshmen coming in to really get you acclimated to APU, help you improve in your critical thinking and researching skills so that you are really, really prepared with a strong foundation to be successful in all of your classes. We also have amazing study away programs. Anyone want to study away, meaning going to like another country? Yes, yes, I see those hands. Yes, some who have done that. We have incredible opportunities so that you can be a part of a global community and learning. We also have a testing center that's here to support all of you. Some of you may have already been using those resources. If you need some accommodations, if you've had those previously, we have a center that will help you with that. We have TRIO support services. Anyone going to be the first in their family to complete their college degree? Yes, I am one of those. Yes, our first-gen students. We have so many resources here to support you and your families in that journey. One of those is our TRIO Student Support Services. It's an application program, but please look into that one. There's also scholarshiping, and they have financial literacy as a part of that. We have writing and tutoring centers. There's so many. I know you guys are hearing so many right now. Writing and tutoring centers are really here to come alongside you in the classes that you're enrolled in to help you thrive. So if you see that you're struggling, or maybe you're already a great writer, but you want to improve, we can all improve on our writing skills. They're going to help you with that. If you're in a class, if you're taking that math class, I use that because it was me, I struggled with math. We have tutoring specifically for that math class that you're in. We also have university libraries. Librarians are amazing. I wish I would have learned this before grad school because I didn't utilize it enough. So that's my advice to you. Utilize the library. When you're doing research, they have research assistants, they have librarians who will help you with finding those resources. They are an incredible resource to help you take your research to the next level. Tons of resources. Was that so many? Don't worry. You don't have to memorize them all right now because we will be sending a slide to all of the new students with all of the resources with descriptions so that you have that. Okay? So now I'm going to talk about how advising specifically works at APU. So you may have already seen some of these faces because they were helping you get into your classes because we have a shared advising model here at APU. So that means your first and second year, you have an assigned success coach based on your major who's really going to get you that 4-year plan. Hopefully you have that Google sheet with the 4-year plan. You know every class to take every semester. If not, don't worry. We are still going to get you one before Monday. Classes start on Monday. But once you connect with those success coaches, they're going to help you in that. They're also going to help you just identify, again, major fit. Talk through those conversations. When you see yourself starting to struggle and you can't remember all of those resources I just said, that's okay. They're going to help you get connected to those resources right when you need them, okay? So I want to have them all come up and introduce themselves and give you all a little word of advice. Sound good? Okay.
Awesome. Good morning, everybody. My name is Annalise Trujillo. I don't think the majors are there, but all right, I like that. There you go. There's my majors. There's a lot. You can read them. But I'm excited to be here. I think my first word of advice is that my favorite Starbucks order is, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. But no, I think the biggest thing, and it's what everyone has said so far, is that there's going to be a lot of changes, and I know things can feel overwhelming right now. For some of us, it's our first semester. We just graduated. For some of us, we're transfer students, and overall, this process can be overwhelming. A lot of us maybe are even doing it on our own. But the biggest thing is breathe. Know that there's never a situation that we can't fix, whether it's our coaches or whether we're collaborating with your faculty members, your major department. We are here to support you. And so don't be afraid. Don't freak out over classes. If there's a conflict, don't worry about that. We have advising available today. We have it next week as well. And we're going to be here to support you. So that is our role as coaches. And so essentially, your goal is to enjoy and thrive in your time here at APU. And our job is to essentially ensure that you're on track and to walk alongside you in that process. And so my, word of advice is to just breathe and just enjoy the journey. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Stephanie Morales. My picture should be coming up with all the majors that I support. But a piece of advice I guess I would offer today is just take this time to engage and explore while your time here at APU. College truly is an investment of your time, so take advantage of that. It really requires initiative on your part. So meet your peers, get involved with your faculty in your classes, outside the classroom, make those advising appointments. We're all here to truly support you in your growth and your process, so really enjoy this journey. There's so many resources. I know that's been, thrown at you, and you have so much going on, but get involved and utilize all the resources that we offer you. Welcome again.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gina Connor, and you can see the majors that I serve up there. It's so great to see you all. We're so excited to be working with you. I'm going to give you some very specific advising advice, okay? I'm just going to get right to it. So when you're registering for class, if you ever get the red square that says error and you can't get into the class, I want you to read the reason why it's not letting you in the class. And if you don't understand, that's okay. That's why we're here. Take a screenshot send it to one of your coaches, and we will get back to you right away. We'd love to see you, and truly the heart of why we do what we do is, of course, we all love advising, we love answering questions, but it's the why behind why all of us coaches are here. We love supporting our students, we love serving you, we love providing answers, whether it's for our office or we'll redirect you to the correct office, but we look forward to seeing you all in our office soon, okay?
Hi, my name is Bryce Kubuyama. My majors are easy to remember because there's just two, kinesiology and nursing. So I'll follow Gina and give a little bit more, I guess, nuts and bolt kind of advice. Two things that I tell students all the time. One is you're not, like, you've already paid to see me, I guess, with your tuition. So students all the time say, like, I'm so sorry I'm here again. I'm like, hey, I'm going to be here either way. So come as many times as you need. It's not going to make your tuition go up. The other thing, and this is maybe a little bit more specific to my majors, at least from the conversations I've had, you know, unless you have like family reasons or financial reasons, don't be in a rush to graduate. I have so many students that come in like, hey, can I graduate in 2 years? Like, I did all this and I'm gonna take like 6 classes over the summer. Like, hey, chill. Like, you know, be here for the ride, enjoy it. You'll have the rest of your life. You know, by the time you get to where we are and you're working, you're like, wow, I'm gonna be working for the next like 50 years. So don't be in a rush to get to that place and just enjoy college.
That was some great advice. You will notice that Adam is not here. I am not Adam. He could not be here. He will be starting with us very, very soon. I also want to say I love the tangible support, the screenshots. As you see, we are here for it all, the big picture, the moments of need. But I also want you guys to know a part of our advising structure is, yes, it's incredible support, but you have incredible faculty advisors who also come alongside you. I wish we could have every single faculty member join us on this stage, because they are going to offer you mentorship. They're going to help you with connecting with internships. So that connection to your faculty, you heard Dr. Laurie Schreiner mention earlier, go to office hours, connect with them. We want to help you in all of the logistics. We're going to help you in those moments when you need connection to resourcing, but get that mentorship with your faculty. Connect with them because they are incredible. And I know that's why I am here today. It was from the mentorship of my faculty. So I get the honor of introducing our next speaker, who is an incredible professor here on campus, Dr. Ishmael Lopez Medel. He is coming up. He's been with us for 8 years here at APU and definitely a student favorite. Can we welcome him up? Woo!
Yeah, right. Hello, everyone. It's great to see you. This is the first time in the history of the university where the students are clapping for their faculty. This is, it's not going to happen. It's not, you know, and we're not happy about it either. I just wanted to take some time to kind of share a few tips of how to handle faculty. And I wanted to tell you basically 3 things. Number 1 is please think differently. I'm not exactly sure what you expect from us, what you've heard, or what you've seen, but if you think about your life so far, you've had elementary school teachers that you probably loved. Then you have high school teachers. Middle school and high school is when you realize people are different. Some of your teachers are weird and they do crazy things. And then you get to college. And unfortunately for a lot of you, you've seen movies about college. They're not true. It's just not the reality. So we want you to think differently about the relationship that you'll have with your faculty, okay? And that's the number 1 thing. It's much more proactive. You have to be proactive. So on average, you guys are going to do 35 to 40 different courses in the next 4 years, okay? So that means maybe 25, 30, 35 different human beings with you for a whole semester, with different needs, with different traditions, with different accents, with different stories. So it's your job to be proactive in terms of understanding what the relationship would look like. Office hours are great. We offer them, and most of our students tend to think they're just for when you're in trouble. That's when you show up for the office hours. That's exactly the other way around. Office hours are for us to invest in you. Because one thing that I also wanted to let you know is that we usually bring two passions to our life. One is very obvious and you'll see it, and the other one is not so obvious, but it's more important. The obvious passion is our fields of interest, of expertise. So you're going to meet faculty, you're going to work with them for a semester on topics that they're passionate about, that they spend years researching and writing, and they build their communities around a particular topic. And guess what? That might not be your topic. So that's totally fine. One of the internal jokes that we have is when students are kind of like afraid of saying, I'm not really interested in your class, I'm not sure why, history or communication or whatever it is, it's important to me. But you need to understand that our real passion is students. It's the only reason why we do what we do, is love for students. It's a passion for students. It's that we want to see you grow, that we want to see you getting from point A to point B, and we want to help you along the way. APU has a very familiar vibe. It's difficult for you to go unnoticed, because we will reach out to you. We will make sure that you know where we are, that we can become mentors, that we can walk with you, and we can become that soil where we can get you ready for whatever next step. Also, think about another layer of our involvement with you is because we're at a Christian university and your faculty are people who profess faith in different ways, but we all feel that it's not by coincidence that you're here. And it's not by coincidence that you got in my class, and it's not by coincidence that I got to teach a particular course. So what does that mean? What does that mean in terms of our relationship, in terms of what we do there for you? So we want to help you in many ways. Normally the first couple of weeks is just, it's kind of like, I guess, jail. I've never been to jail, but I guess in jail, kind of like in the movies, you see how people like look around and see, what's going on here. That's what the first couple of weeks feel like. And that's when you come in with the only tip that I have for you, which is kind of simple, but kind of like, it's the only thing that you need to do. You need to communicate. That's all you need to do. You need to speak up. You need to send emails. You need to respond. And please don't ever say, I'm confused, unless you really want to upset your professors. If you want to upset them, just say this, I'm confused. Ask questions. Make sure that you understand what's required of you. Make sure that you understand why you're there. What's the big picture? Now, you're going to love your major classes, but some of the classes that are general education might not feel like this is exactly what I want to do. I'm a part of the communication studies department, and our big thing is math. Our students are always complaining, why do I have to take math? And then we need to explain, well, you're going to be if you want to be a semi-functional adult in the world, you'll need some math skills at some point, right? But the big question is communicate. Wait, you have a lot of services around you at APU that will help you navigate this next 4 years, but we're there for you also in terms of what happens next. What's your field? Have you discovered something interesting in one of our classes? Did we ever present something to you that was interesting? How can we help you move in that direction? We'll push you into internships. We'll push you into industry connections. We'll bring guest speakers. We'll go and visit people that could be interesting for your professions. We're there for you, and we really mean it. But you have to speak up sometimes. Well, even if it's just regular things are going on with you, we really want to get to know you. And then the last thing I would say is, as we invest in you, also be aware that you have a tremendous impact on the way we teach and the way we come to work. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but the way you are in class is not just, it does not go unnoticed. It really impacts your faculty. If you're there ready, if you're there prepared, if you're there doing what you want to be doing at that time, it really has a profound impact on the way we invest in you. So it goes both ways. I once had a student say, well, you just come here and you talk for an hour and then you go home. No. We take your problems with us home, and then we celebrate your victories with us when we get home. And that's really, really crucial, and that's really important. And that's very true at APU. We're here for you. We probably will never say that we love you very much, but but it's true. We just don't want to say it just in case, you forget to submit your homework and stuff. So communicate, show up, and we're ready to be along by your side. It's a great discovery. It's a journey, and it's an adventure, and that's the way it should be. So, we're here for you. That's my message. Thank you.
He turned toward me as we raced down the freeway toward the hospital, and me sitting in the passenger seat doing my best to keep the tears from stampeding down my face very softly. He turned to me and said, you don't have to be strong right now. You don't have to hold it all together here. And these words, the most necessary healing for a woman who knows how to carry worlds on her shoulders, but was never really taught how to put them down. These words releasing the fullness, permission to grieve, to exist, permission to take off the super person cape for a moment, permission to cry and show up. If I learned anything about my college experience or my 5 years spent on this campus, it was that I was given permission to cry and show up. Yes, permission to learn and to grow, to change and to explore, but mostly the permission to cry when necessary and to show up exactly as I am. You see, we sat in her car as I told her about a heartbreak that in that moment felt like it was shattering my whole entire world and splitting my heart apart. She looked at me and said, you are deserving of a beautifully handcrafted love story. And I have woven these words into poems, into hand-lettered prints. I have woven these words onto my heart until the day that I began to live out that beautifully handcrafted love story. See, I realized more and more with every passing and pivotal moment during my college years that it wasn't just about what we learned in the classrooms or what happened in the classroom, but so much about it was the moments that happened in the dorms, or the conversations across tables laced down the cougar walks, the one-on-ones with resident directors and mentors that this world will not always have so easily accessible or available to you. So take in every single moment. Allow yourself to experience the permission to grieve, to explore, to show up, to cry, to learn, and to grow. You are about to enter into the most remarkable season of your life. And no, I don't mean go to Disneyland for the whole day and watch the fireworks after. I mean remarkable. Like God is gonna show up in your life in more ways than you could ever ask or imagine. That you are going to begin to see him in new ways. He will speak to your heart in ways that you've never heard before, or maybe for some of you, he will meet you for the first time on the cougar walk, or knees pressed into the prayer chapel, tucked into streaming waters, or the whispers of a prayer wall that you will feel keeps you from every disaster that this life will throw at you. Remarkable meaning it will be hard. It will be challenging. It will stretch you in ways that will feel as though maybe you are not ready, but what does it even mean to be ready anyway? You are not here to get ready to be world changers. You are already world changers. So you are here to step into your ability to world change, step into your giftings and your God-given purpose and call in friends. Friends, you will grow in this space. You will change in this space. And I only know that because I grew in this space. I changed in this space. I found God in ways in this place. I found the opportunity to explore my giftings and who God has created me to be and what he has created me to do. And that's what this degree did. I didn't just walk across the stage with a bachelor's in psychology. I walked across the stage with peace in my heart and an understanding of who I am and how he has created me to be and what he has created me to do in this world. I told you it was going to be remarkable, and I will tell you now that it doesn't always look like the 4-year plan that we highlight, map out, and plan. And most times it doesn't look like what we expect, but it will be good. And it will be swimming with purpose, and it will have God's penmanship all on your story. So When I said that your lives are about to change, I wasn't exaggerating. It's going to be good. It's going to continue to shape you into the men and women that God has created you to be. So are you ready? Are you ready to step into your calling? Are you ready for something remarkable?
I don't know about you, but I'm ready. I am ready. I am ready for you to be here. I am ready to see what God is going to do in your life and in your journey. Before we finish up, would you just take a second and stand, stretch your legs, turn to the person next to you and say, I'm ready. I'm ready to be here. All right, find your way back to your seat. "123 years ago, a group of women and men huddled together in the living room of a woman named Mary Hill. They dreamed of creating a place where women and men could come together to learn about Jesus and be sent out to do God's work in the world. And so that group of people, they founded something called the Training School for Christian Workers. And in the first semester that the Training School for Christian Workers was ever established, 13 students enrolled. In fact, the first student who enrolled at the Training School for Christian Workers didn't even know what it meant to be a Christian and didn't understand how to be a believer in Jesus. But the story of what God was doing in the Training School for Christian Workers was so compelling that that student came to know Jesus as his Lord and Savior. And that same story of the Training School for Christian Workers and what God wanted to do in the world was just so compelling that our first president, Mary Hill, who sweetly and lovingly volunteered her living room, left after just 1 year as her role as president in order to become a missionary in China. As those folks gathered together 123 years ago in the little living room in Whittier, California, little did they know both the legacy and the impact that dream would have today. And so as you and I sit here in a room that is much bigger than a little living room in Whittier, enrolling nearly a class of 550 students this fall, I am here to tell you that the legacy of the Training School for Christian Workers is alive and well on Azusa Pacific University's campus. Yes. And I want to welcome you, students, parents, alumni, into this legacy. My name is Karen Rouggly, and I am the director in the Office of Service and Discipleship, and I get the pleasure of serving as one of your campus pastors here. And like many of the other staff and faculty that you will find on this campus, my journey is not much different than yours. In 2001, I sat in this same room and I listened to stories upon stories of women and men and students who told me about what it looked like and what it might be like for me to thrive at Azusa Pacific University. And that was my story. That was true for me then, and it is true for me now. I am where I am today on this campus because of the work I did when I was a student here. And I am where I am today, and I count it a blessing to be able to steward and shepherd this work today. So, I am a part of our spiritual life team here at APU. Our spiritual life team is about presenting opportunities for you students and your spiritual formation by inviting you into opportunities where you can worship in community with one another, where you can develop and practice your spiritual disciplines, engage in faith-informed service experiences, participate in relational discipleship, and receive spiritual care. These experiences and services are provided for all students, both graduate students and undergraduate students, no matter what faith background you come from. Because on our campus, we welcome students and individuals from all backgrounds and faith journeys. We have students who are enrolling this fall and students who are already here who come from contemplative traditions and some who come from holiness traditions. Some of you may be from charismatic traditions or social justice traditions, maybe evangelical traditions or incarnational traditions. And we have students who come to this campus like the very first one, not knowing who Jesus is at all. We believe that when we take all of these traditions together, they help us envision and live out a balanced spiritual life. And the historical church, despite its differences and divisions, was upheld and upholding the core characteristics of Christ's life for generations to come. We hope and pray that during your time on this campus, you will see through Jesus a picture of how to experience vitality in your life with Christ on this campus and once you leave. So our spiritual life division is made up of 2 connected offices to help you experience this vitality in Christ. The Office of Chapel and Pastoral Care, as well as the Office of Service and Discipleship. So I want to talk to you about each of those. Chapel at APU has been an integral part of our foundation. Since those meager beginnings, we hope and we require students to participate in chapel because we provide you with consistent rhythms of community worship through biblically grounded and diverse pastoral and challenging chapel curriculum, ultimately that will make space for you and your own personal spiritual transformation. As I said, it's been foundational and integral for us as our very beginning of this institution. And so still, even now, we have a regular chapel attendance requirement. We believe in the power of communal opportunities for you, students, to come together and to worship alongside one another. And so students, you are required to attend 3 chapels a week, and you get 10 absences each semester. But as I talk about these requirements, I actually want you to reframe them for yourself. What would it look like for you to say, I get to attend chapel 3 times a week? So, what does that look like? Each week, we offer 4 in-person chapel experiences on this campus. Monday and Wednesday are here in the Felix Event Center from 10:30 in the morning to 11:20. There aren't classes that happen during this time. The university, in essence, shuts down because we want you to come and to experience the life-giving opportunity for you to worship in community with one another. Thursday evenings, we have chapel on East Campus in UTCC, which is the building that has the cafeteria on the bottom. UTCC is on the top, from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And Friday mornings, we have chapel in UTCC from 10:30 to 11:30. That's the chapel requirement. But we also realize that as you go about your journey here as an APU student, you also might benefit from meeting with a pastor and talking about some of life's biggest challenges or your biggest faith questions, and we welcome that. As a spiritual life team, we have a group of campus pastors just like me who can meet with you for support and spiritual care. We want to get to know you and get to know what God is doing in your life. So please do not hesitate to reach out. So that's the Office of Chapel and Pastoral Care. Next is the Office of Service and Discipleship. Our office gives students a chance to explore who God has made you to be and what God has made you to do. We want to encourage you to follow and live out Jesus' commands to both be my disciple and to follow me. We offer 3 ways for you to explore your being and your doing. Those are local engagement, global engagement, and relational discipleship. So, our local and global engagement is a chance for you to be connected to God, be connected to yourself, understanding one another and this great world that God has created for us through service, either in a local context or in a global context. So locally, we offer service experiences here in Azusa, which is my city. So we welcome you to my city, all the way out to Los Angeles. You can participate in ongoing service experiences. If your weekly schedule allows that, you can go and dig deep into a local community partner each and every week where you're doing things like tutoring those who need it. You're helping out at a local food pantry. Those are things that we offer every week. But maybe your schedule doesn't allow that, and that's okay too. You can get plugged into one-time service opportunities, things that you can go and say, hey, I've got a Saturday to donate, so why don't I give this time to serving a meal or to hanging out in the city of Azusa with youth? We also offer chances for you to get plugged into Los Angeles, which is just 25 miles from here and one of the most globally diverse cities in the entire world. Globally, we offer chances for you to participate in short-term service trips, both nationally and internationally, over fall break, which happens at Thanksgiving, your spring break in March, or your summer break. These trips are on average about 7 to 10 days. Some of them go up to 6 weeks, and we're sending students to learn from others and to connect with cultures all over the world. We tell students all the time, you aren't bringing God anywhere because God is already at work wherever it is that you find yourself to be. We also offer chance for students to think about service after graduation for 2 years or more. This is particularly exciting and a helpful time for students who may be exploring a full-time call to ministry or missions in their future. Finally, discipleship opportunities. On our campus, all students are invited to participate in discipleship groups, or D groups, as we like to call them. These groups are student-led small groups where you and your peers are meeting regularly to talk about Jesus. You spend time in prayer, and you're processing through Christian life together. Yes, you're hanging out and you're making friends, but we're doing it with the idea of spurring one another on. We have D groups on this campus. Some of you may be in them that you begin as a freshman, and sometimes they last all the way until your senior year and beyond. D groups, discipleship groups, are a great way for you to build that deep community that Dr. Schreiner was talking about earlier. We also offer one-on-one spiritual mentoring for students where you are matched with a mentor of your choice, Some of these are APU employees, some of them are faculty or staff, members of local churches, or more who want to walk with you on this journey together as you explore some of life's biggest questions. Again, we value these experiences so much that at our university, we have a service requirement as well. In the same way that we value chapel, we value these service experiences. And so all full-time undergraduate students get the chance, not are required to, get the chance to participate in service during your time here at APU. And I can tell you from my own experiences, these service and discipleship experiences were some of my most formative and my most life-changing experiences that I had here at my time at APU, and we pray that that is the same for you. because of these programs, because of the chances that I got to go and serve around the nation and around the world, because of the ways that chapel challenged me to think differently, because of the relational discipleship and mentoring that I experienced on this class at this university, I am where I am today. So, service credits. Service credits need to take place off campus and be unpaid experiences. In total, by the time that you graduate, you will get 120 service credits. That works out to about an average of 15 service credits each semester. And if you're a transfer, don't worry, we'll help you calculate how many you need to get. So you can put your mind at ease right now. In just a minute, when you are released from this room, you will find outside up here on Kresge Plaza a group of about 30 students and staff from the Office of Service and Discipleship who are excited and ready to talk to you about how you might plug into spiritual life this year. They're wearing a shirt that looks like this, and we want to talk to you about what it would look like for you to grow your faith in a D group alongside your peers. We want to tell you about all of the cool things that God is doing here in the city of Azusa. And trust me, there are many, many cool things. And we want to tell you about all of the things that you might be able to do and connect and serve in over our fall break, our spring break, and our summer break. APU is a place where you can connect what you are learning in the classroom to who God is creating you to be outside of the classroom and beyond. It's a place where you can find spaces to explore what God might be doing in your life and what God might be calling you to do. Because again, on this campus, your spiritual life matters through chapel, pastoral care, discipleship, local and global service. We want you, students, to grow into being who you are by being like Jesus, being with Jesus, and doing what Jesus did this year and every year thereafter. So with that, I'm going to invite up Dr. Laurie Schreiner to close our time together this morning. Would you join me in welcoming Dr. Schreiner?
So today you've had an opportunity to hear all the many ways that we can support you here. Your professors, your success coaches, your alpha leaders, the people, they are right here with you. All the people who support commuters, residents, first-year students, transfer students, whatever your situation is, there are people who are part of the soil of APU who are here to help you navigate, as Dr. Rouggly said, your spiritual life. As you write papers for class, as you connect with students from other cultural backgrounds and experiences, remember, your thriving here takes both of us doing our part. Your part, never give up. Say that with me, never give up. And then our part is to challenge you and support you every step of the way. So as you start your journey with us, our wish for you is that you really enjoy the ride and thrive. So Alex, come on up here and tell us what's next.